Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm bringing you guys a back to school makeup look. Super easy to do. As you can see, I'm not even wearing false lashes, and it's going to be using affordable makeup. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first thing that I used was the Zero Gravity Moisturizer by Nurture and Nature, and I'm applying this all over my face to make sure that my face is hydrated before applying anything else. Next, let's move on to my brows, and I'm gonna be using Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit, and I'm first brushing them off as per usual because it's always good to brush them off first so you know what empty spaces you need to fill in. And I am just working this pencil right on the brow. I like to start off with the tail of the brow and making that nice arch. I always have to thick out a little bit this one brow because my other brow it's a little bit thicker, so I have to make sure that they kind of like match. And then I brush off the product with the spoolie on the other side, and then I start working on the front of my brow. I always like to keep the front a little bit more on the lighter side and more like diffuse kind of to just mimic hair and to give me that more natural effect. And then I like to start spreading the product with an angle brush. This brush that I'm using is from Benefit as well, from their brow collection. Then I am going to start off by applying my foundation, and I like to shake it off. And then I'm going to apply the Fit Me foundation by Maybelline, and this is something that I do is I clean up my brows with the same foundation that I use for my skin because we don't have time when we run to school, so we want to make sure we utilizing as little products as possible to get the best look. So I clean up my brows and I use the same foundation to apply it all over my face with a beauty blender. So I just blend. If you have large pores, I would recommend using more of like a filler primer, that those invisible primers. The Baby Skin by Maybelline is really good, or the Smashbox photo finish primer is also really good. Then I'm gonna move on to the concealer, and I'm gonna be using this Age Run concealer by Maybelline, which is one of my favorites, in the color Light Clear. And I am going to light up my under eyes and also apply it on my eyes to help me with the eyeshadow once I apply it as an eye base. And I just start doing it on the chin and on the sides of my mouth just to give me that lift on my cheekbones. Then I am going to just blend it out with my beauty blender one more time, and then I'm gonna move on to settings. So once I have everything blended, I'm gonna grab the Fit Me powder, loose powder, and I'm gonna be using the color Light. And I'm actually really liking these powders by Maybelline. They're new, so I like to use the Light just for the underneath, just for under my eyes to just set. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of loose powder, as you can see, just to make sure it holds any fallouts that I might have. Then I'm going to use the NYX Milk Jumbo Pencil as an eye base for all over my lid and blend it out with a beauty blender. And I'm going to move on to the Morphe palette. I don't remember the number of this palette, but I will list it down below in the description. But it is such a gorgeous palette. And I'm going to be using this eyeshadow, which is a cool brown, and I'm going to use it all over the eye actually. So I'm going to use the 224 brush by MAC, and I'm blending this shadow right onto my crease, and I make sure that the shadow is also diffused up to the tail of my brow to give me those elongated eyes, and it just looks much better, like if I was born with eyeshadow, you know. And then I'm gonna use the same eyeshadow to apply it all over my lid and also on my bottom lash line. So as you can see, I'm using the same brush for all these eye makeup looks. That's all I'm using, one brush. And then I'm gonna move on to take off all that loose powder with this big fluffy brush. I'll make sure I list all the brushes numbers down below in the description. And then I'm gonna be using this shadow as a highlight for my brow bone because you want to make sure you glow on your first day of school. And I'm going to use this shadow also on the inner corner just to open up my eyes and give me that awaked makeup look, because we always look kind of sleepy, kind of like if we just woke up. when we go to school. So we want to make sure that our eyes look wide open. Then I'm going to be using it for my liner. I'm going to use the Master Curvy Liquid Eyeliner by Maybelline, which is actually one of my favorites. It might not be for some people, and this is just a break between the liner because my jam came on. But for me, this is such a perfect eyeliner. It's just a little bit thicker. It's more firm on the eye when it glides onto the skin, so it gives me more precision when I draw the liner, because sometimes the tip can be too wobbly, so it just makes me mess up. But this one is really good and I really love it for that reason. I am going to use the same foundation in a flat brush to just make sure I sharpen that liner, that winged, and then I'm going to use this Smashbox eyeliner pencil black. I actually couldn't find my Maybelline Lasting Drama pencil in black. It's also amazing. It's waterproof. So I used the Smashbox, which is also amazing. But if you're looking into more affordable, make sure you check out the Lasting Drama pencil by Maybelline. Then I'm using the Big Shot mascara from Maybelline as well. And this is another break in between. And I show you guys what song I was listening to in case you were curious of why I was moving the way I was moving. But this is such a fun song. It's from a Brazilian singer singing in Spanish. So anyway, let's move on to the powder. I set up the rest of my face with the Mineralized Skin Finish powder by MAC, and then I'm using this Elci bronzer, which is my absolute favorite. It's so pigmented. I just absolutely love it. And this is one like more high-end product that I'm using for this tutorial, but you can definitely use like a more affordable bronzer. NYX has amazing bronzers, and so make sure you check them out. Then I am just bronzing my face all around as per usual. You want to make sure you go up the forehead with that bronzer and down the jawline. Then I'm using the Master Chrome highlighter by Maybelline, which is my absolute favorite. They have to come out with more shades though. I want them to come out with more shades, but this one, it's just beautiful. It's so pigmented, and as you can see, I'm glowing. Just make sure, don't forget the highlighter when you go back to school, because you know you want to make sure you blind people. You blind the teacher. And then I'm going to be using this pencil from Maybelline, this color. I don't know the name on top of my head, but I'll make sure I list it down below. It's one of my favorite colors for the lips. It's such a neutral, yet like a little pinky, give you a little bit of color. And I just like to use it all over my lips and add a gloss on top. I'm using this Buxom gloss, and I'm just adding it all over. If you want to keep just a liner, you can, and add a lipstick, matte lipstick over it, you can. I just prefer the gloss for this look because it just looks more fresh, and I'm doing the wet style on my hair, so I just figure you gotta be all glowy all over. Then I'm using the Smashbox setting spray, and let's move on to the hair. So next I am going to apply one of my favorite products from Briogeo, which is it's like a leave-in cream conditioner for your hair, which keeps like my wavy, frizzy, curly hair like on point. It smells so good, and I just like to apply this like to keep my hair like really hydrated. And then I'm applying a little bit more because I just love this thing, and no matter how much you apply, it's the bomb, you know. So if you want to keep going, you can keep going. But here it is. Here's the wet kind of like hairstyle that I do when I don't want to do too much to my hair, but it's still keeping it in place. And I totally forgot to apply this brown pencil on my waterline. I just feel like it adds a little bit of color to the waterline, and also it makes your brown eyes pop, or any eye color. And here is the finished look, guys. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this back to school makeup look. And if you have any other suggestions for me to film, make sure you leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I see you guys on my next video. Bye!